What separates the top 1% of copywriters from all the rest? What separates the six-figure copywriters from the ones who are making just enough to get by every month? What separates the copywriters who have their dream lifestyle and travel the world and eat their favorite foods from the ones who are sitting behind their desk, burnt out, working 12 hours a day? After coaching close to 1,000 copywriters over the last 5 years, I've realized it's just one thing. It's consistency. So today we're in Arashiyama Forest, which is here in Kyoto. It's on the east side of the city, and usually it's super crowded. Like the few times I've been here previously, it's just people. And so today we actually took the train at 6 a.m. in order to get here earlier. And yeah, it really worked out for us by being here earlier. We got to see so much of the forest without any distraction. So it was fantastic. And that's one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about today. Getting up early. It's not so much about waking up like super early in the morning. What it's more about is get what you need done first thing in the morning. I remember I was doing a challenge a few months back, actually. It was this year, the 75 hard challenge. And part of the challenge is to do 2 workouts every single day. And doing 2 workouts a day can be quite difficult if you delay until the evening. You know, can you try imagine doing 2 workouts in the evening? So the very first thing I did every single day when I got up was I did my first workout. And once it was done, it wasn't a very difficult challenge because like I just got all the stuff I needed to do first thing in the morning done. So like consistency has a lot to do with just getting stuff done really early before the day hits you. Because once the day hits you have no control. Somebody calls you, a client needs this, a friend wants that, your partner asks for this. Like life just happens really quickly. And before you know it, it's already 3 p.m., 4 p.m. and you haven't done the things that you needed to do. And the other thing about this to think about is like getting where you want to be is about investing time. It's about investing hours. Now, when I was learning Japanese, for the first time when I started learning Japanese, because I wanted to come here and speak with the people, I actually started like almost 9 years ago, but I've only actively been studying Japanese for about 3.5 years. Because when I started my copywriting career a while back, I lost my consistency, I stopped practicing. So I started Japanese in 2016. And actually my first copywriting course was in 2017. So right after I started Japanese, I started, copywriting, and kind of took me off track. I stopped studying Japanese for a while, and I regret that. I think it was a mistake. I shouldn't have stopped learning, because I would be so much further ahead today if I just invested like 10 minutes a day. If I just 10 minutes every morning for like the last 8 years, I can't imagine where I'd be today. And so I restarted Japanese in like 2023, and it's like almost the end of 2024 now. And within just a year and a half of actively practicing like 30 minutes a day, I'm talking with native speakers like all the time here. Got no challenges at all. Like there's no English barrier or language barrier.
焼き芋カラメル1つと、はい、それ以上です。もうそれも。
傷の確認お済みですか？
お願いします。はい。まだ看板に見えませんけど、この24番。はい、大丈夫です。ありがとうございます。
And I think copywriters is like this too, right? It's like you start learning copywriting, maybe you close a couple of clients, and then you just stop growing for a few years. Like you don't actively improve. You may be in the game. Time in the game is not the same as time invested in the game. Like just existing as a copywriter for 5 years with a couple of clients doesn't necessarily mean that you're actively working on your skill. And so this is why I've seen copywriters who have been in the game for like 5, 6, 7 years who have the income of some copywriters who've only been in the game 2 years. If you don't keep this in mind and you're in the game and you're like, oh, but I've been doing copywriting for 3 years, how come I'm still stuck? It's like, well, how much of that time have you actively invested into copywriting? Like how much of that time have you actively invested into getting higher quality clients? I haven't really been in the game that long compared to a lot of people. I'd say a lot of people like have a lot more years in the game than me. But because in the early days I worked with some very big businesses that asked for a lot of copy, I've probably written more copy than some people who have been in the game twice as long as I have, just because I did so much in the early days. And you see this with a lot of copywriters who come from agencies. Like the copywriters who come from agencies, they've written like 3 times more copy than people who have been in the game the same amount of time as them. You compare 2 copywriters, one's been in the game 3 years, another one's been in the game 3 years, one was a freelancer, one was a copywriter in an agency, telling you the copywriter in an agency has written 3 or 4 times more than the copywriter who's a freelancer. And so if you've never been in an agency, it's not bad. I'm just saying, like, you need to think about like how much time you've actually invested into the skill, not just how much time you've existed. You know, like it's not the same thing, right? So that's what I want you to keep in mind too. It's like, do the thing that you need to be consistent at early in the morning every single day, because of what I just said, because the time that you invest is the only time that matters, not how long you've existed. So do it early in the morning so that every single day you can add to that count of how many hours you've invested in the game. And just start with like 10 minutes. If you just need to create the consistency first, start with 10 minutes. Being consistent, but like increasing the intervals of consistency over time. And so last thing about consistency, and this is really important, it's creating a foundation. Creating a foundation so that you can remain consistent even in difficult times. So like when you lose motivation, when you have a bad week, when you're not consistent, how you show up after that makes all of the difference. Like over the last few days, I've been sick, right? So I haven't been my best. And so I dropped my consistency a little bit. I wasn't working as much as usual. I wasn't just getting as much done as I'm used to. I wasn't exercising as much because I was sick. And now that I'm getting back into my routine, today I'm starting to feel, like 7 out of 10 again. I'm not quite better, like almost 100%, but not 100% yet. Getting into the routine now is the important thing. And so you need to create a foundation where whenever you do fall off track and you stop your consistency, it's very easy to get back into it. And one of the most important things to do so that you can get back into your routine easily is having a very clear why. You need to reflect on why you do something. See, for me, I used to struggle with consistency and discipline because I didn't have a reason to do it. I remember, like, I didn't have a strong reason to work out every day. I was like, not interested really in working out every day. I didn't used to have a strong reason to play chess every day. I didn't have a strong reason to go and get natural light and take care of my health. And I remember like a good year and a half ago, I actually sat down and I wrote down all my goals I want to achieve over the next 5 years. And I listed them all out. And I was like, I need this habit, this habit, this habit, and this habit every single day if I actually want to achieve those goals. Once I connected my dreams with the habits that I have every day, suddenly all of those habits made a lot of sense. And so now, whenever I fall out of my routine for a few days, it's very easy to get back on track because I know exactly what I actually want my life to look like a few years from now. So it's very important that you get clear on your why and you get clear on your long-term goals. And I think that's going to be a very important part of setting the foundation for your consistency. And then also just like recognize that you're human. Like realize that it's not going to always be perfect. Like there are going to be days where you are going to miss stuff, and it's important to just keep going and get up and just keep going again. Think of bamboo as a great example. I mean, we were just here in the forest, right? It's like bamboo takes years before it actually starts to grow out of the ground. Like when bamboo actually starts growing for the first time, it's just spreading its roots. It's spreading its roots in the ground. It's developing a foundation. It's getting stronger and stronger. And you don't see that progress for years. And then within this very, very short span of time, like within a few weeks, it starts to shoot up. That's why I guess it's called a bamboo shoot, right? It like develops, and then when the foundation's there, it shoots up. And it can be the same with copywriting. It can be the same with most habits. I've seen that like a lot of growth doesn't happen in a linear way. It happens exponentially. It's like you start with the same habit and you don't see results, and then suddenly you see a lot of results all at the same time. And like that is why consistency is so important, and that's why it separates people that are not getting results from people who are getting results. People who don't get results They're sometimes consistent when they feel like it. They have large, loud bursts of energy, but it doesn't last very long. Whereas the six-figure copywriters, they are very consistent every single day, again and again and again, and that's going to make all the difference. So build a foundation, remember your why, be patient when things aren't going your way, and get back on track as soon as possible. And even if getting back on track just means like starting with 10 minutes a day, like for example, fitness. Today, I want to work out, but I know I'm not going to be able to do my full workout routine. I'm going to get a headache if I do that. I'm going to really hurt myself. I'm just going to do 20 minutes. So I'm going to just get my body moving a little bit, get back into the momentum. And then tomorrow, maybe I'll push myself a little bit more. And hopefully the day after that, I'll be able to like do a full workout again where I don't feel any sort of sickness as well. Because actually, this happened to me the other day. We were recording videos and like I was almost 100% better. And like we went out the whole day and we recorded videos from like morning till evening and like took photos and explored Kyoto. And like I legit thought I was completely better. I thought like the day after that I'd be completely better. But the sun, it was so hot, it was such a crazy day that I like woke up the next day and I was sick again. And I was like, why? It's like because I pushed myself too hard too soon. So that's the last thing I want to point out to you. I mean, sometimes you might need to, like in that case, I think it was necessary, but be careful. Like when you're recovering and you're building momentum, don't push yourself too hard that you burn yourself and then you have to start from scratch and build up slowly. Just steady pace, steady pace. You're playing a long game. You're playing for years. You're not playing for next week. You're playing, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So that's all I got to share with you today. Now I'm going to enjoy this little coffee here in Arashiyama. It's a very cute little spot right across from the bamboo forest. And we're going to go do some exploring. I know a camera guy over here, he wants to go check out the Hello Kitty shop, which is just around the corner. Hopefully it's not too crowded yet because it's still quite early. And maybe you'll see a little bit about that in the next video as well. So see you there. Okay. Wait, where's my phone? Oh, again. It's from all the rest. Separates the top. Wait. And their computer for 12 hours a day. Barely getting anything up. Nearly had it, sorry. And watch out. It actually worked out. Just wait for this whole crowd of Italians. All right, that's all I got for you got to share for you. It's interesting how I struggle with it so much.